that the definition would be better is if we called it a spectrum. You know, we have autism spectrum disorders. Now, I wouldn't call it a disorder, again, because I don't like those dis words. But the spectrum, you can be very dyslexic in some areas, have some of these traits, and not much in others. The clumsy thing goes with a lot of kids. I have a lot of world-class athletes that come in that don't read very well. So it's not always clumsy. It's not always a cerebellum issue. And then I think it should have syndrome in it, because there's a whole conglomeration of issues. It's not like Mamililo says too, it's like, it's a complex issue actually, and because it affects almost every system in the body. When the right brain is out of balance with the left brain and so on, the immune system is compromised. You watch kids that have a right brain imbalance and stuff, they've got flaccid muscles. So there are lots of systems that get organized. So when we start here at reading, that's way too high up, way too high up. It's a layered, we're actually talking layers of the brain, and multifaceted array of neurological, cognitive, emotional, and behavioral issues which can appear in greater or lesser amounts and affect spelling and reading, time management, physical coordination, brain asymmetry, or brain synchronization and timing. This is a really big issue. Brain chemistry and immune modulation. So, and although dyslexia was once considered permanent, what we've learned with neuroscience in the last 10 years really says that's not true. And here's the big problem. Where did we get, in this labeling issue, where did we ever come up with that dyslexia was permanent? If you follow the rabbit trail back, where did that come from? Well, if you look at our conventional medical wisdom, our conventional medical model, 300 or 400 years ago, it was decided that once the brain is formed and developed, it's formed. And it doesn't change until we atrophy and we get old or we have a concussion or something like that. Now, in the last 10 years, there's been more information on neuroscience and neuroplasticity and epigenetics. So neuroplasticity is how plastic the brain is, how much it can change until the day we die. And epigenetics says the genetic part, we can influence our genetics, how they're expressed or not expressed by our emotions and other things. So that old mindset that it's genetic doesn't mean it's permanent. Because we have so many more good measuring tools with MRIs and PET scans and so on, they can go in and do a program on children and come back and look at those areas. The ones that they said were permanent would always be there, it's changed. So we're working on an outdated model. And really, the paradigm has to change. Because the educational system and the medical system is still working under dyslexia is permanent. When I read books, The Gift of Dyslexia or some really good books, and they'll say, now don't get your hopes up. Don't listen to anybody in the alternative world who doesn't have these double-blind studies and so on. But don't go to places that aren't charted, because you'll just be disappointed. So one of the things I talk about in the book is, here's what to look for, and please do go to alternative medicine, and please do look in new places, because that's where all the action is. This stuff has been around for 10 years, and we have stuff, and it's replicable, and we have before and after studies of that. What more do you need? This is your child's life at stake. You can't wait 40 or 50 years, because the last 40 or 50 years there wasn't so much change.